What up? It's your boys back at it again. Another episode of FTS. Tonight we are recapping Dana White Contender Series week 4, I believe.
Yes, week 4.
Had some good fights, crazy knockout, and we're just gonna dive on in. Gage Young versus Quillen Salkild. What'd you think?
This was a good fight. It was cool. It was honestly, it was like they were hyping it up a bit more than I wish they were during the fight and
Hmm.
after the fight. Like it wasn't the best fight in the world. It was a typical like two guys that were evenly matched. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like that's just what it was. It was a decent fight. It wasn't no barn burner like they were trying to say. They're like, "Oh, this is one of the best fights you could have asked for outside the UFC," or yada yada yada. Like, come on now. Let's settle down a little bit with that. But I do agree with the decision. I don't know about having this guy come into the UFC though, because he did give him the contract.
Hmm.
I don't know if he
Uh,
can sign this full.
Especially at the 155 level, right? 155 is the UFC's hardest division.
Most
But Gage Young, they were saying he was like the best prospect out of the Midwest. And this kid's from Australia. So, we got a Midwest kid versus an Australian. And I'd sign Quillen because I saw him be good everywhere. I saw him do good on the feet. I saw him have good kicks. That nice teep. Um, and he had a good gas tank and he fought a good opponent. I mean, they were really hyping up Gage Young and the stupid Yanni the Greek guy. Never listen to this fucking guy. If you're betting on fights, this dude is a fucking shill. He says, "I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit on Gage Young." Look at the scorecard right there, 30-27. There goes your sprinkle like that, boy. Um It was a good high level fight, but you're right. In hindsight, it's not like fucking Gaethje versus Fiziev or like something insane, right? Like Dana was
No.
hyping it up.
The whole broadcast team was, but that's their job. It's cool. But no, I don't think I'd give him the contract. I would based on like the past, like what the contender series is supposed to be. You're supposed to be exciting. You're supposed to be always looking for that finish. And he was a bit tentative in my mind, when he could have been
Mhm.
looking for. There were a lot of openings that he could have just taken, like with his high kicks and stuff like that. He was landing when he did throw his jab. He was getting him. He was snapping his head back. He wasn't doing that enough. And I would have just for sure signed him up for the next contender series fight. That's what I would have done, and then
I
hopefully
think
he gets
they
a good knockout, and then you sign him. That's
I
what I would
think
have
they
done.
signed him based off of his competition because they're so highly on Gage Young. They're like, yo, one judge gave him 30-27. Dana likes a good fight. They were both high level, and it is what it is. The fact that I like about this was Quillen was in the crowd, the UFC crowd, during Adesanya's debut, and supposedly he went and trained like that week after seeing the UFC in Australia, which is important because the UFC spends 75% of its fucking time in the UFC Apex. This guy is why you travel. This guy is why you go to different little shows, have little fight nights everywhere else. You need people like this to see the UFC and be like, yeah, I'll try that out. Or else you're gonna get stuck with fucking dummies. So good fight.
That's a good
I'm
story.
excited to see that fool. Yeah, I'm excited to see him.
So
And sheesh.
this was a great fight right here with the upset. So when I first started playing this fight, I was watching it with my girl. I was like, honestly, I think this girl might need to go down a weight class. And then next thing you know, she just bink. She just sleeps her, bruh. I was like, oh, never mind. Not if you knocking bitches out like that.
Absolutely vicious KO, right?
Stunner.
I,
Like
insane. Toes were curled up. That's how you know you got slept the fuck out. Very
and
simple setup. The grit, pretend to grab the leg, overhand right, very simple. And take a look at this plus 900 underdog.
insane. Dude, I saw to if for a finish, like for her to finish it at all, anyway, was like a plus 1300,
I
thirteen
bet. I
fifty
bet
or
it's
something like that.
I bet it'd be I hope it'd even be more than that, but wow, dude. Just a nasty fucking punch. And then Shannon was on her ass. You know, she has that women's MMA, karate, kickboxing, like I'm just gonna throw and get in your face and clinch and
Yeah,
and
she landed some
dude,
good shots.
yeah, and I don't know, Eunice Duden, had to back up, had to work backwards, had to throw overhands, showed skill, wasn't panicking, wasn't like, oh, and shooting takedowns, like tripping out. Dude, she knew what she was doing in there. And then that's the best part of the fucking contender series, right? Is you get in two undefeated people and plus 900 odds and the fucking minus 1,800 gets slept. Hilarious. Absolutely legendary, actually.
Dude, it was insane. Freaking it looked weird too. Freaking like when I saw the punch land, like it didn't look like a punch that was swung super hard or nothing like that, but you saw it land and then just like it destroyed her. It didn't look just from an eye's view, it didn't look like a super hard punch. But just I don't know. I guess she was just so top heavy, you know what I'm saying? Just dink, had all that
To
weight behind
carry
that punch, freaking laid her
but
out.
the momentum of that
Yeah.
thing, right? That thing like carrying forward, that motherfucker bringing that whole twink. That was a motherfucking Francis Ngannou level punch, bro. That shit might be cheating lightweight. Dana White's favorite new fighter for a few reasons. Um, never before it happened, brings her when he's giving out the contracts, brings her and is like standing with her when he's doing the interview with Lorisenko. And
Yeah, she
dude,
didn't
if
even take a seat with like all the other
yeah,
dudes.
no, so she's literally a star. They better give her like just shitters, you know what I mean? Like just build this girl up.
I think me, yeah, just help build her up because like, dude, to have a woman with power like that in the UFC, dude, thank God. Come on.
Very rare.
Like build her up, give her the skills she needs, give her the time
Mhm.
she needs. Fuck yeah. I'm
And then
excited to have her added to the UFC.
And one more thing, Dana White saying that she was broke, no money to her name, a bunch of text messages to like Nick Maynard that she might not even make the fight. Bro, like what a blessing for her. I bet you Dana's gonna sign her a behind the scenes fat fucking check, guaranteed. And
Dana be doing that shit like that. He don't be talking about
mhm,
it too much
this
though.
woman won't have to worry about money no more after that. So good on her. And moving on.
Yeah. And on to this fight. What'd you think about this one?
Something about this kid's face. I don't like him. I don't know. I don't know.
He
You
just looks like
fighting
your
a
typical college wrestler.
Yeah, fighting a plus 600. This dude came in on super short notice. You could tell he was fat. He had body fat. Um, I don't know.
So
13 and 0. He's 22. Relentless takedowns. Okay on the feet. I guess he's a Muay Thai champion as well, which was kind of crazy.
yeah, I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
But one thing, this is the guy for sure. I for sure wouldn't have given this guy kid a contract. I think he just like he was clearly better than this dude Ramos for sure, but he was just clearly really green. Like he's fresh.
Mm.
You know, even though he has 12 professional fights, you could see how nervous he was up in that cage. He clearly had the skills to freaking take this guy out of the freaking fight and finish that way quicker. So, I think I think he just needs more time to develop mentally.
Too frantic, right?
He's
Just
green.
like like, oh man, I'm gonna do this. Oh fuck, I fucked that up. Now let me start doing this. And look, this fool's just
Yep.
like he's just like freestyling in there, you
Mhm.
know?
And he has the gas
Um,
tank to back it up, but once
mhm.
he needs a guy that's just more patient and has the skills and was actually prepared for the fight, it's gonna be a different story.
Yeah, we might see another Raul Rosas Jr. story here, right? Maybe they slow ball him in the UFC, give him some low competition, and then his first jump up, someone who can defend those takedowns, someone who has a proper gas tank, and then just might finish the kid. He's 22, like you
Yeah.
said, right? Dana's always bitching, I don't want old people. I don't want old people. but he's fine bringing in literal children who need to develop in other fucking organizations. You know what I mean? But he's just like grabbing them so quickly, they don't get to grow. Now you're forcing them to learn on the job in the UFC.
This kid seemed even more green than freaking Rosas Jr. though, honestly, just the way his mentality was going into that freaking fight. Like he just was so frantic, like you're saying, and like just worrisome, trying to freaking jump to this move, to that move, not really putting himself in the proper positions to use the actual skills that he has. And he dropped the ball a little bit, in my opinion, even though he won. Even though he won, he just dropped the ball a little bit. But good on him. Congratulations. You got the contract. Whatever. On to the next fight then. Here we go. This fight here,
I can hear you, but I'm in. So if you can hear me,
I can hear you right now. You're actually frozen right now. But I know you're good now. But you're good. This fight here was a big surprise. Curry versus Santos. Santos was freaking pissed about those odds, apparently. He came in here and
mm,
freaking boxed the freaking boy up. They were hyping this dude up hella, the freaking the broadcasters, Laura Sanko and all them, Paul Felder. They're like, oh, this guy's fought everybody. He's fought what's his face in the UFC already. He's fought him twice. Blah blah
oh, yep,
blah.
yep.
And dude,
Uh,
he looked like a chump. He got pieced up.
so I was in the kitchen cooking up my chicken, and I'm watching this fight. 1 minute into the fight, I'm like, is this fool's record real? Does he know how to fight? Or like, did he come in and fucking fake this shit? Because I'm watching him and I'm like, dude, you are not no minus 500 favor. Who the fuck made those odds? Um, Especially against a 10 or probably a 9-1 opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Silly, silly odds to have. And he got flipped those odds. This kid looked like a fucking minus three or plus 350 in there.
Dude, yeah, he was boxing him up. He had no answers for him. One thing I do gotta say though, Santos, you better be working on that gas tank, boy. You better be working on that gas tank. That third round, you were desperate.
100%. But I mean, he spent the first first 2 rounds and almost all the three just beating the shit out of this dumb kid. So maybe a little tired. And I think he hasn't fought in 2 years.
No
So,
way.
yeah, coming back, you're in front of Dana White in this high pressure situation. You're a fucking plus 350. I'm gonna give him a little leeway on getting a little tired. Um, Laura Sanko at the start of the fight, she says Curry has a problem fighting backwards. Bro, that was the story of the whole fight.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, Laura Seiko's a better commentator than people give her credit for. Like, people be hating on her, but she says a lot of smart ass shit. There's a couple times when she's like, oh, these body kicks are gonna hurt him. And then you're like, just shut up. I hate your voice. And then next thing you know, dude's body's fucked. And you're just like, God damn it.
Yeah, Laura is very knowledgeable. She's been in the game since what? We've been started watching UFC. I remember her asking Dana White, I think it was at the end of one of these contender series, actually, maybe season one, season two. I've been watching since the start. She asked Dana to his face on live TV, like, give me a shot. Let me
Yeah.
do it. Let me try this Dana White shit. And fucking she did, and now she does some of the, shows on the road. But my only, what's the word, criticism is there's no other way to put it. She's a woman. So when someone gets knocked out, instead of DC, Joe Rogan, John Anik, Paul Felder, Dominic Cruz being like, oh, what a knockout, we get, it's just different. It's just different. It's as simple as that. But yeah, we all love Laura. And shout out to Santos. I'm glad he got the contract. And I'm excited to see this fool on the next random UFC Apex show.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see what he can do.
Yep.
All right. And for the final fight, what'd you feel about this fight? What'd you think about Igor?
Igor is me. I fight like Igor on the bag. I think I'm this fucking dope ass fucking G who can like throw these things and I throw my kicks. Um, that's not how the real world works. You know, you fight men who want to fight you back. This dude I don't think has ever gotten out of the first round, I believe. And they were saying like his average fight time was what, like a minute and a half?
Yeah, again, they were hyping the hell out of this guy, just saying this guy was freaking God's gift to fight, and all of a sudden, again, just like this is a story of the whole contender series. Every single favorited fighter lost.
Which is funny because up to this point, they were an 80% win rate. Favorites were at an 80% win rate. And then what did one favorite won, right? The first fight of the night, I believe.
Dude, the odds makers on this one were freaking drinking or some shit. Some dude was just pounding the freaking crown or some shit.
It's funny because Laura, shout out to Laura and her facts. If Laura starts a facts YouTube channel and posts it before the Contender Series, I think we'd be fucking millionaires because she said the thing about Curry can't fight backwards,
hmm
and then immediately he can't fight backwards and loses the fight. And if I would have known that, I would have threw a little bit of money on Santos, you know what I mean? And then same with this one, Laura, yet again, says I reached out to Igor's management and I got about 30 seconds of footage. Alarm bells, hello.
Yeah.
This dude is fighting absolute fucking shitter nobodies, and they don't even have footage of it. That's how bad the fights are. And
You could see it in the whole
odd,
fight. You could see it
you
in the
can
whole fight. He just didn't have
literally.
the experience, even though
Mhm.
he had nine freaking wins. Like
Nine
almost
KOs in the first
like
round. Yeah. Like
you could see
just
he was just out there fighting cans, obviously. They're just feeding him freaking they think this is boxing or some shit.
yeah, bro. You and it's funny too, because as a fighter, I mean, they're all so delusional, right? But maybe his coaches, like, they should have known, like, oh, the phone rings. Oh, Nick Maynard wants you to fight on the Contender Series. Let's not do that. Because now you have Soyoung Kyung Ko, uh, 10-2, I'm guessing, before this. And guess what? He actually knows how to fight. Okay. He's not just gonna go in there and let you knock him out in the first minute, dude. Like you're fighting real people. Welcome to the real world, motherfucker.
Bro, freaking
Hello.
Co had me thinking in the middle of the fight, like the way he was fighting, I was like, bro, we got an Asian Artem Lobov up in here, bro. He's just have his hands out like this, just like, "Oop, zoop, what's up? What's up? Oop."
Shout out to Ko, man. 3-1 underdog. I don't think Dana would have given him the contract if they like again, if they weren't so highly on Igor, right? If Dana wasn't just even at the end when they're reading out Ko's thing and he's giving him the contract, Dana is bigging up Igor the whole time he's talking about Ko. He's like, oh, you know, he had all these knockouts and blah 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 blah. Blah. And then and then Ko beat him. So we're gonna sign Ko. It's just so funny.
But yeah, they freaking gave a contract to every single fighter this freaking contender series. That's pretty crazy too, I think. But it's probably also because they all beat the beat the favorite
The
fighters, so
favorite.
it's automatically way more impressive, I guess, right?
Exactly, 100%. Pretty good night of fights. This is
Did
our
you
new
see
series. Oh, go ahead.
did you see the USA Noche promo?
No, why?
Bro, they had the UFC Noche promo, and they're it's like hyped up to be like, oh, the greatest event ever. And then they have these dope ass freaking Mexican flags and decals coming through and shit like that. And then you just see all these dope ass Mexican fighters, Cain Velasquez, freaking Rodriguez, freaking who else was in there? A bunch of them. There's a bunch of
Uh-huh.
Mexican fighters up in there. Fighters that are actually in the UFC right now too. Probably at least like four of them.
Not on the card.
Not even on the card. And I was just like,
LOL. Okay.
what are you
Perfect
doing? You
idea.
could have put
Perfect
these
idea.
people on the card. What's going on? They had a freaking promo of Nate Diaz on the freaking thing, dude. He's not even in the UFC anymore, guys. What are we
Yo, yo.
what are we doing?
Hold that thought. We are dropping a USC Sphere rant. Yes, I got some shit to get off my chest. That is hilarious. No Yair Rodriguez, no Nate Diaz, no fucking Brandon Moreno, no fucking anyone but Ortega and some fucking randoms. Um, but yeah, I'll stop it right there. Good night of fights. We'll be back next Tuesday for the next Dana White Contender Series. And yeah, we love y'all.
Love y'all. Stay with us.
Peace.